It's Jonathan Gerber with the Jerusalem Portfolio, and I'm excited to interview again my friend Noam Danenberg. Noam, welcome. Tell us a little bit about Wize Pharmaceutical and about yourself and what's going on in Israel with Wize.
First of all, thank you very much for having me. My recent activity evolves around Wize Pharma. Wize Pharma is publicly traded on OTC. The controlling members of Wize are myself, Yair Goldfinger was the founder of ICQ, if you recall, was one of the original first
early text messaging.
Correct. Jonathan Rubini, also a very known investor, based in Alaska, but he's flying all over, very well known. Wize Pharma actually in-licensed special eye drops, which are already in the market in 4 countries, Germany, Switzerland, Hungary, and the Netherlands. The product was originally invented by Professor Shabtai Dickstein, who is a Holocaust survivor. He's almost 90 years old, a very interesting fellow. He actually started with the whole project and took it from idea to the market, which is quite exceptional. The product is the #1 best-selling eye drops in those 4 countries that I mentioned. And Wize Pharma took it upon itself to carry out the phase 2 and phase 3 clinical studies for this drug to be approved for Sjogren syndrome. Dry eye, for those of you who doesn't know, is a huge indication. Most of us are going to suffer from dry eye sooner or later. And there are many products in the market. If you go to Walgreens or any pharmacy, you'll see a lot of drugs there. We don't want to be there. We want to be something unique. And therefore, when the inventor actually proved in a small scale study in Hungary that this drug is not only for dry eye, but for Sjogren syndrome, which is an inflammatory state associated with dry eye, we took it upon ourselves actually to do the double-blind, placebo-controlled, multi-center study necessary in order to register this drug for Sjogren syndrome specifically in the United States. The company that is controlling the market right now is Allergan with their drug called Restasis. So Restasis is sold for like $400 a month rather than $8 to $20, which will be the typical drug that you will get over the counter with no prescription. Our goal is actually to go head-to-head with them. Now, why did we do this investment actually? Was because, as I mentioned, the inventor carried out 2 studies in Hungary where the drug is already approved and showed incredible effect of this drug for Sjogren patients. So we've already seen the results in human.
Wow.
We won the war and now we're going to the battle. So now we did the double-blind, placebo-controlled, multi-centered study, FDA type of protocols. By the way, all the protocols were prepared by American CROs, Aura Clinical, and the Weinberg Group. And we've basically completed those 2 studies, costed us over $10 million up till now. 10 days ago, we announced that we completed the last study, and we're about to release the results in about 4 to 6 weeks.
Very exciting. Noam, tell me, if this was developed in Hungary by a Holocaust surviving Jew,
in Israel.
So what's the connection to Hungary? Clarify. What's the connection to Hungary?
So the inventor spends a part of his time. He is originally coming from Hungary. Right now he's living in Jerusalem, but he still has a house in Hungary. And he found local distributors in Hungary, Switzerland, Germany, and Netherlands. So that's why we started selling the drug, very successful. By the way, when I say very successfully, we have IMS reports, which is, I don't know if you're familiar. Okay, so IMS is a group that goes among pharmacies all over the world, and they're giving the sales report per product in order for a founder to know how much royalties is due to him.
Oh, interesting.
So I have the IMS report from Switzerland on this particular drug, and I can tell you that this one drug, one inventor, has over 50% of the Swiss market. One drug. I mean, talking about multinationals, they have like 10 or 12%. This drug has over 50%, so it's very impressive. And I know
is Allergan's product available in Switzerland? Is he competing against Allergan in Switzerland?
Not particular Allergan, because Allergan in some countries are considered to be toxic, their product.
Oh, interesting.
But there is a parallel product with a similar API and we're still giving it a hell of a run. I mean, we are far above them on the sales
So
figures.
Noam, when this product comes to the United States, why would someone choose this product, the Wize eye drop, as opposed to the industry standard?
Okay, so for today, if somebody has Sjogren syndrome, by the way, Sjogren syndrome and any inflammatory state associated with the dry eye, for the moment, will receive off-label the allergen product, off-label. Because the allergen product, the only thing, their claim was that they are increasing tear production. Usually when Sjogren syndrome, somebody suffers from Sjogren syndrome, his teardrops are dry. So their product allegedly is increasing tear production with a lot of side effects, by the way, not because I'm saying so, everybody knows it. But it's used still off-label. So the doctor will prescribe allergen because that's the only thing out there. Our product, we are aiming to register for Sjogren syndrome specifically. So the doctor undoubtedly will prescribe for a Sjogren patient, which represent, by the way, a third of the dry eye patients.
Wow.
Okay. So that's a big number. They will probably have to prescribe a drug which was aimed at Sjogren and not used off-label. So assuming everything goes well, by the way, just to share with you, the last company that was competing with allergen, the drug, again, off-label still, was not approved for Sjogren, but was competing with allergen. The drug was sold for $6 billion. But that's a drug that went through a phase 3 study. We are completing a phase 2 study. Now, there is a very interesting opportunity.
What's the mechanism of this drug that's different from the industry standard? How does it work? How does it deliver treatment?
Basically, we're using a very high percentage of glycerol, which nobody else in the industry uses. And we have patents on that, by the way. We have patents which are already granted. So we are enhancing the hyaluronic acid anti-inflammatory effect by using a very high percentage of glycerol that basically supposedly is supposed to solve the problem. We see it with patients. I mean, again, when you're doing the studies, you have subjective and objective criteria that you have to show. You know, it's not enough that you're showing that your numbers are better. The customer also has to feel better. And that's what we are seeing so far.
Are you producing more tears, or are you somehow lubricating the eye on its own?
Look, according to the mechanism of action, according to our data room, we are more than just lubricating. But I can tell you that on our board of advisors, we have the #1 specialist for Sjogren syndrome worldwide. And we have also the professor that was one of the inventors and was involved in the development of the allergen product. At the end of the day, when the drug works, whether it's because it's better lubricating or whether I'm going to give you a very sophisticated explanation about the mechanism of action, at the end of the day, you want to know that it works. Glycerol is a very good lubricant. That's why I'm careful saying, you know, that we are solving the problem, because the fact is the customer will keep on buying the product.
So how big is the market of these, in terms of dollars, of people who suffer from dry eye?
So dry eye is about anywhere between 16 to 30% of the population. So a third out of them will deteriorate to an inflammatory state. And those are the ones that, you know, using all the off the shelf, you know, product will not do any good to them. They need something stronger. That's the guys that will probably, you know, get to our product. Market size, allergen sales are, Restasis is the #2 best-selling product of allergen. #1 is Botox. #2 is Restasis. They're selling over $1 billion worth of this product, and that's only one company. You're talking about billions of dollars a year.
So Professor Dickstein survives the Holocaust, moves to Israel, and comes up with an idea that's going to improve the lives of a third of the world population, potentially.
Correct.
That is the Israeli story.
By the way, it's not his only invention. He has a few other inventions. He's a very known pharmacologist here in Israel. He has an amazing CV. The guy is an amazing guy, no doubt.
Amazing. And he lives in Jerusalem today.
Lives in Jerusalem, still active, goes for a few months every year to Hungary. It's also a very important factor to know that millions of people, I mean, last year over 1.1 million packages were sold in Switzerland alone. So millions of people are getting this drug, no side effects, nothing major. The safety profile is very well defined. I like the guy very much. I think he's very, I like his initiative.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal. It's really the Israeli dream. Thank you very much. Link below for more information on how to contact the companies discussed in this presentation.